Just a quick one to touch on an insight I've just had in my morning meditation. And it might not come across as deep as I got it, because it's always very hard to explain deep insights. But when we look at the nature of emptiness from a Buddhist perspective, which is that nothing exists as a separate self-identity, because everything is dependent. Everything that exists or arises depends on everything else. Up depends on down. Okay, you can't explain up without down. And if we look at the material world, everything in existence, basically, everything, even emptiness depends on form. Okay, so whether it's a piece of paper, your mala beads, your car, anything, your body, your heart, it depends on everything else. Therefore, it's empty of a separate self-identity, and it is full of everything else. Reflect on it, meditate on it. This should be a daily part of meditation anyway. You have a deeper insight into reality. But my teacher for years, and I've shared because of him, 4 power techniques: body power, soul power, mind power, sound power. He's now introduced writing power, which he says is the most powerful, and also breathing power. Okay, but when we look at soul power, which is the reason for this video, even a saint is empty of a separate self-identity. So if you call on Jesus, for example, for the existence of Jesus to be, there is countless factors within that. Okay, it's dependent on everything else. You have Jesus' teacher in there. All of this lineage of teachers in every life when you call Jesus. You have everything, every bit of wisdom that he holds. The essence of him, his frequency and vibration, his love, care, compassion, forgiveness, his connection to God. You have, if you call the Buddha, you have every single person that's ever chanted his name. All of the masters in all of his lifetimes that have taught him, that he has taught, every bit of wisdom. This is why in Buddhism they say to chant a Buddha's name to be a Buddha. Okay, so I would suggest doing a practice where you hold one saint's name, because the ultimate source, the Tao, whatever you want to call it, is where everything comes from. But when it manifests into the countless forms, the 10,000 things in Taoism, many sages that have gone on the path and reached full enlightenment and melded back with the source, they've all taken their own unique path. This is why in Buddhism, some Buddhas are the Buddha of intelligence, wisdom, compassion, medicine, all these different aspects of, they've all walked a different path. Okay, so each time you chant a name, for where you are in your life, you might gain insight into their journey. So when you get to the top of the mountain, you may be able to look down each path and share wisdom on each path, but not everyone walked the same path. They all walked a different path. Okay, therefore, in times when you want healing, you might chant Medicine Buddha's name. When you need light in your life or you need detachment, you might chant Amitofu. In times when you need strength to forgive people and see through and love them, you might chant Shakyamuni Buddha or Jesus' name. okay? But also realize the unlimited power of the invoking soul power. So, like we did a Tao Te Ching group last night, and we did the 4 power techniques, and we applied soul power. My teacher says don't limit anything. You might chant Amitofu's name, but in the invocation, invoke Yuan Ling, okay? Yuan Ling is all enlightened souls everywhere. He says never meditate on your own. You sit there, you meditate all on your own. You try and get somewhere. Anyone who's meditated in a group will realize it's far more powerful in a group. Many people, when they've been in meditation groups with me, they say, I meditate every day. As soon as I get with 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 more people, I just get straight into the stillness very fast. And it's true. So when we're meditating on our own, if we call all enlightened beings, all the Buddhas, all the indigenous elders, all the shamans, all the holy saints, the Taoist saints, the divine, all layers of divine, the Tao, you understand that they're not just isolated, they're not individual beings you're calling. Each soul you invoke is dependent on everything that's got them there. This is beyond what the mind can comprehend. This is power beyond power, a calling beyond a calling. So never make it automatic. Never just say, oh, dear God, dear Master Shah, or dear Divine, dear Tao, dear all these saints, blah, blah, blah. That's a meditation in itself. Even if you did soul power as a still meditation and just sat for 5 minutes with who you've called, with love and appreciation in your heart, and then ended the practice, that'd be a powerful practice. So to call on these beings is a meditation. This is why I also try and include mind power in soul power. So when you call the beings, instead of drifting everywhere, use the mind to see them. See them coming and being with us, and then feel them. Because, as I said, they've all chose a different path. Not only that, they have many different traditions, have different spiritual paths, okay? At the top, it's all the same, but it's a different path to get there. So geography, I'm realizing more how when you go to different parts in the world, you might feel different. You might want to adopt a different spiritual practice that is more harmonious with where you are in the world. You know, this plane of existence, there is a heavenly plane above it, okay? All form is informed. Therefore, this is why you have Indian Gurujis and things like that in India have a specific path. Their layer of heaven above them is Indian saints that help support them. You go to China, it's Taoist, okay? Let's say, I'm Buddhism, but let's say they have the Taoist philosophy in the Taoist mountains. Their heaven above them, the Taoist sages are above them. They have a certain look, they have a certain feel, they have a certain wisdom. They have a different technique of teaching students, okay? You might go to Tibet, and it's Buddhist, okay? Tibetan Buddhism, and then they have their heaven above them is Buddhist. So all different areas in the world have their own geographical location, which has its own unique vibrational signature, if you like, and linked to different parts of heaven. So there's different, in every spiritual tradition, there's different locations in heaven, just as there's different locations on earth. So the reason I'm sharing this is because when you call them all and you see them all and you feel them all, They all come with their own light, their own wisdom, their own history, their own techniques on the path, their own story. And we're talking about a countless number of beings here. So if you can just come out of here and just don't roll off automatically, and even when you invoke the soul power technique, you put your hands on your body first, settle yourself. And then when you call the soul world, really feel and connect to which part of the soul world you're calling. Dear healing angels, archangels, feel them, see them. What do they feel like? What's their light like? What's their wisdom like? What's their healing frequencies like? Appreciate them coming. Because at the top, all these beings are vowed to save the universal process, save all sentient beings, relieve them from suffering, save God. They're all the holy saints. What do they feel like? Jesus, Mary, Buddha, Jesus, Mary, Saint Francis of Assisi. You can, name some individual saints, but generally that whole line of saints, all the countless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, feel them. Okay, it's a very, very powerful practice. It's a very powerful practice because you're also bringing in their Shen Qi Jing. Shen Qi Jing is soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter. It's the essence of them. We're down here in a body, and we're in a material existence. And when we get attached to form, which we touched on last night, we lower our frequency, we become more dense. Therefore, by connecting to spiritual frequencies and spiritual beings like this, we can purify our Shen Qi Jing. When you chant a Buddha's name to become a Buddha, in that bit of wisdom, you're literally melding your essence, your Shen Qi Jing, with the essence of the Buddha that you're chanting. Amitofu, Guan Shi, Pusa, Guan Yin, anyone that you decide to chant to, even if it's Jesus, or Krishna, okay? This is why the mantra never leaves the lips. You chant a mantra all day. You're with that anything. It's not just the one being, the interconnectedness of emptiness. If you chant Wong Mani Padme Hung, Om Mani Padme Hung, you are connecting with every single being that's ever chanted that mantra, every bit of wisdom, every bit of insight gained by every master that's ever chanted that mantra, every Buddha that it's linked to. So by holding it all day, you are tapping in to a universal choir of Om Mani Padme Hung or Wong Mani Padme Hung, however you want to pronounce it. You're connecting in with that throughout your whole day. My teacher shares a story of a master that he met, and my teacher said to him, "May I ask how long you sleep overnight? How many hours sleep do you get?" And this master said, "I don't sleep." And he said, "What do you do?" And he said, "I chant all night." And he said, "What do you chant?" He said, "Om Mani Padme Hung." The mantra doesn't leave the lips. As we go further and further up, we need less and less food, less and less water. We become less matter, become more energy. Okay, this is Taoist alchemy, to change matter to energy, energy to spirit, spirit to emptiness, emptiness to Tao. This is the Yu Dao Herjian meld with Tao alchemical process of a Taoist. In Buddhism, they have Tibetan rainbow body, where they chant a mantra and they hold every thought of being a loving and kind thought for a period of time, and they literally, and there's been documented cases of this, there's photographs of this if you want to look it up and do a bit of research on it, they literally phase out. Okay, the only thing they leave behind is their fingernails and their hair, and their body turns to light. They consciously move out of this dense frequency band of existence and move to a higher plane. So this is what happens when we hold the mantra all day. The mantra never leaves the lips. So this was just the insight I had on the importance of soul power. I hope you've gained some insight from it, and I hope you apply it. I love you all very much. Have a beautiful day.